Good morning, GFS. I'm Maha from 13C. We hope you're all well and safe. I'm sure many of you are wondering who we are and what this podcast is all about. Well, look no further. In this week's podcast, we will be discussing everything our podcast is about, and how listening to us will be beneficial for you. If you remember, we recently sent all of you lovely students a form to fill out, asking general questions about some of the topics you'd like us to talk about. Well, the GFS Talks team has collated a few of the recurring topics many of you wanted us to talk about, and how we will be walking you through them today. Within each segment, the discussion will change each week to keep things interesting, and we'll be discussing all the important things we as students are interested in. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Welcome to the Claiming Our Health section of the podcast. I'm Sanalda from Year 13B. Here we will discuss the importance of maintaining your mental well-being, ways to improve your mindset, taking a moment to relax, and many more. Receiving help is the most important thing anyone can do for themselves. But unfortunately, the stigma keeps people from getting help. Mental illness should not be something to be ashamed about or thought of differently. When mental illness is treated equally to other illnesses, more people will have the courage to get help and better their lives, which is why this segment is to educate and create awareness. This platform is a helping hand to any student who wants to talk about their mental health problems. Our podcast is a safe space for students to share anything at all related to mental health they would like to address and for us to talk about. We will soon be creating an MS form that will remain anonymous, and anyone can send in their mental health issues or any concerns related to this. We are very excited to hear from everyone and for this podcast to be a forum for students to openly discuss issues many of us face. Here's a little snippet about anxiety and how we as students can better deal with it. Anxiety, in simple terms, is an extreme case of fear. Some signs that you have anxiety include feeling worried or scared, increased heart rate, sweating, and more.
At some moment or place, we as students have felt anxious at school. School anxiety isn't a case of won't, it's a case of can't. It's anxiety. It's a psychological response from the brain that thinks there's danger. Whether the danger is real or not is irrelevant. Many kids with anxiety would know somewhere inside them that there is nothing to worry about, but they're being driven by a brain that thinks there's a threat and acts though it's true. Luckily, there's a very cool thing your brain can do, and it's called a relaxation response. You don't have to believe it works because it's programmed into your brain, like breathing, so it just does. But it won't work until you flick the switch. The best way to do that is to breathe. Not just any breathing though, strong, deep breaths that come from your belly. In through your nose for 3, out through your mouth for 3. Always remember, you're brave, you're strong, and you're okay. I'm Riti from Year 12B, and these are very helpful tips to calm our anxiety. Try to keep this in mind the next time you feel anxious.
Moving on to our next segment, having connection between each other is key, and that is the aim of this segment. Hello, my name is Farha Tamer.
And I'm Vanika Johnny. In the interview segment, we will try to discuss various topics with diverse combinations of the institutional members, including students from different age groups, teachers from different fields, and even institutional workers.
Topics will be related to the top chosen content, like mental health and pop culture. Moreover, we can interview tutors of the week and acknowledge their interactions with their students, or even class representatives, and know more about representing and being a median between colleagues and administration staff.
Additionally, we will be showcasing the work of the talented students here at GFS, and we'll be interviewing them as well. Questions will be asked by you, and we will try to take them into account while interviewing.
If you have any concerns or recommendations, please feel free to drop them into the form given to you by your form tutors.
With that being said, have a pleasant day ahead.
I'm Ruha Amir, and our next section is called the Advice Column. We'll be taking your concerns about school or personal life, this can be anonymous, and helping you with advice from us. Since the problems or issues submitted will be by students to us, who are also students, we believe it can be much more relatable. Moreover, our own take on addressing these concerns might be beneficial not only to the people sending them in, but also to everyone else tuning into the podcast. Feel free to fill out the forms linked to the QR code and send in any troubles you might have. However, keep in mind that these concerns need to focus on school-related topics, such as coping with exam stress or how to research independently. Stay tuned to hear our seniors' advice on how to deal with these problems and have a stress-free academic year.
Get excited, guys, because in our final segment, we will be talking about all of the up-and-coming news on all your favorite celebrities, from your favorite singers to the latest TV shows. We will be discussing on how they link to what we've talked about throughout this podcast.
If there's a celebrity you look up to or someone you'd like us to talk about, be sure to send it to us.
Well, everyone, we hope you have gotten the gist of what our podcast is all about, and we can't wait to get started and hear what you have to say. Just for clarification, we will be making our GFS Talks email very soon for you to send in your ideas.
Any anonymous ideas, such as addressing your concerns or mental health topics you'd like us to discuss, will be done anonymously, and we will create MS forms very soon for the interview segment and the advice column, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Once again, on behalf of the GFS Talks team, we are beyond thrilled to speak to you very soon and have an incredible day ahead.